What's up, everybody? It's Conger Live. We're back again with another TMNT Mutant Madness video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the upcoming power mutation. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead and kick that subscribe button for more TMNT Mutant Madness content. Let's go get into it. Okay, first off, as we get started here in the TMNT community news, we're going to take a look at the Dimension Clash Power Boost heroes. This last week has been brutal with Rock and Raph. I've also contracted COVID, so I'm sorry if I'm coughing or sniffling during this video, but I'm doing the best I can, struggling here, but thanks for being with us. Also, that I will be getting the Alpha 1 video out probably tomorrow or the next day. As I've been dealing with obviously some crazy stuff going on, but I wanted to get you guys the upcoming power mutation. So the first one is Ninja Splinter. Ninja Splinter has been traditionally not an amazing toon, so I'm interested to see what he might bring to the table this week. We also have Rat King, which has some interesting synergy with the summoning heroes, but just has not been impressive overall. And Muckman, who did really well in the last power boost mutation. So yeah, let's go take a look at their kits. Okay, so the first one we decided to look at is Ninja Splinter. His special sneaky shot, he gains defense if not slowed or rooted. Conditional, not stoked about that. Target all enemies at range 1, inflict root for 4 seconds, select an empty tile, move there. Target an enemy at range 3, deal physical damage, deal extra damage to targets within range 1 of another ally if not Splinter, and not Splinter. So this only counts himself as not Ninja Splinter. So if you happen to have basic Splinter on your team, he will still target those other enemies. So he can deal damage to multiple targets with this and inflicts roots to everyone that's next to him. But he does have the condition to gain defense on if not slowed or rooted, which is not exciting, but it's not bad. His split shot target up to 3 enemies at range 4, deal some damage over 3 hits, and deals extra damage per hit to targets at range 2+. So if the further away they are, they're a little bit extra damage. Inflict -20 alertness for 15 seconds per hit. And with this, because he does 3 hits, if it's up to 3 enemies, if he say only targets 1 or 2 enemies based on what's in range or where he's at on the board, he will do those extra hits to that to those other players, other enemies, doing more damage. But the -20 alertness for 15 seconds per hit, I don't think it goes to 20 or 30 seconds, but it does go to -40 if they hit him twice, or -60 if it's one target hit 3 times. His silent shafts when attacking an enemy deal extra damage if they are under 10 alertness. Gain 60 haste and 20 alertness while there are no enemies at range 1. Other allies gain 30 haste and +10 alertness while there are no enemies at range 1 of them. So he's going to help out other ranged heroes. Rat King is a ranged hero, so he could potentially benefit from this. So, but overall not that great. And also because he has this gaining the extra alertness when there's no enemies at range 1, but then he gains defense and roots people that are at range 1 with his special. His special and this passive don't really work well together based on how they're written. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Strike from the shadows after attacking gains defense. After an ally attacks, they gain defense if they are not slowed or rooted. So this is really nice that he's giving everybody a little bit of defense as they attack. Now, if you want to take them to 225 after an ally attacks, they gain 5 strength and focus for 5 seconds if the target is under 0 alertness or is stunned. So we need somebody to strip alertness for this to proc. I'm not sure if I'm going to take him to 225 for that. And his final auto skill smokescreen, target 3 different allies at range 5 and all allies at range 1 of them. Give defense and +60 haste for 7 seconds. Target all enemies in that area. Inflict negative defense and -30 alertness for 7 seconds. So he creates these smoke bombs all over the place and gives the buff and the debuff to everybody in those zones. Now with the smoke screen, from what I understand, is that if it overlaps it doesn't hit them twice if they're standing in an area that's being hit from 2 smokes. It's just the one effect. And then at 250, he gives 60 barrier for 7 seconds, inflicts disarm for 2 seconds. So taking him to 250, I think this skill would be really, really beneficial for that disarm and also that barrier, because we don't get a lot of barrier protection from a lot of heroes. But of course, 250 is a huge investment. So if anybody does that, once again, let me know in the comments down below. I'm not sure how I'm going to fare with Ninja Splinter. I'll use him for the first day or two, and if he doesn't seem to be working well for me, I'm not going to be using him. Finally, he has his equipment skill, which has gained 45% resistance to stun and to silence and slow. Sorry, at the start of combat, all allies gain 15 strength for 10 seconds. So that's okay. You know, it'd be nice if he resisted stun. Not a lot of people silence, but of course Rock and Raph. But resisting slow is going to help him make sure that he does get that defense from his special, which is really nice. The strength at the beginning of the battle, it's not a lot, and it's not for very long, so just meh, you know, that's that. Our next hero, as we said, is Rat King. Now, Rat King, of course, calls the rats. He summons a rat swarm with a decent amount of health, and they deal physical damage with a range 1 attack. There's a limit of 6 rat swarms for the battlefield. Now, the rat swarms don't have a time limit. It's just life. So as long as the rats can survive, they're going to stay on the board. That's why there's a limit of 6. They inflict negative 12 haste for 6 seconds and inflict root for 1 second to targets at or under negative 10 haste. So they're going to be rooting the enemies. This is, of course, actually going to be detrimental to a Ninja Splinter. So Rat King's already looking better if you had to choose one or the other, just because Rat King is going to kind of counter some of what Ninja Splinter is trying to do already just with one skill. Let's take a look at the rest. His Smoke Pop, he targets a tile at range 3. All enemies within range 1 of it. Deals some energy damage and inflicts negative 40 strength and alertness for 8 seconds. Deals extra damage and inflicts negative 40 extra strength and alertness to stunned or rooted targets. So, of course, the rats are rooting, so that's really going to help out. Or are they slowing? Are they slowing or they're rooting? They're rooting, yeah. So, pretty nice to take away that strength and that alertness with those skills there. Now, his passive Army of the Sewers, enemies get negative 25 alertness and armor per rat swarm at range 1. So the more rat swarms that are around an enemy, the less likely they're going to survive. All allies get 25 haste and armor per rat swarm at range 1. So if an ally is next to a rat swarm, they get the haste and armor bonus. When attacking, inflict negative defense, deal extra damage to targets under 20 haste. So you can take that haste away, which taking him to 225. He inflicts stun for 2 seconds and gives 40 haste for 4 seconds to targets under 50 haste. So lots of haste manipulation here. I think there's more giving out of haste than stripping haste, so I'm not sure if this negative 50 haste is ever going to proc. So the whole 225 skill, I'm not sure if it's worth it at all. Negative 50 haste is quite a big number to hit. His King's Command, target enemy at range 3, inflict negative 30 will. That's a great skill. We want to take away the will, take away their ability to use skills. For 5 seconds, target all rat swarms. Give defense and 50 haste for 5 seconds, and give 50 strength for 5 seconds if you can take him to 250. Once again, that's a big investment for a character that isn't going to be used too often outside of mutation, if at all, during this week. I'm not sure if that ooze investment is worth it. But of course, with Alpha 1, who also summons, there may be some more viability for Rat King and Technodon in the future. Now, we really like Rat King's rat. His equipment skill, rat swarms gain 45 armor and haste, and he gains 30 haste per allied summon. So he's going to be able to do a lot of fast attacks. It's also going to, with this, he's never going to be able to proc off of the enemy Rat King's passive at 225 just because he's going to have so much haste all the time. Okay, finally, it's Muckman. Where did my Muckman go? Is Muckman one that I don't have? No, where is he? Somebody tell me where he is. There he is. Okay, Muckman. Now, Muckman's garbage toss selects an enemy at range 3, inflicts damage over 6 seconds, so that damage over time, which is why he was in the mutation last time. This time it's like the sewer people, living in the sewers, kind of garbage, smelly people, maybe. He targets all enemies within range 1 of the target, inflicts more damage over time, and negative 25 strength for 6 seconds, inflicts extra damage over 6 seconds per strength to the selected target, and 50 damage over 6 seconds per strength to the other target. So he's got a decent amount of damage over time to the main target and half that to the targets around his target. Pretty cool. His Slip and Slime, select the line at range 3, target all enemies in it and inflict negative defense and negative 200 haste. So here you go. Muckman is going to help Rat King trigger his 225 passive. And slow for 4 seconds. Inflict a negative 100 extra haste and armor and root for 4 seconds to targets above 50 haste. So once again, this is going to help make sure that Rat King can get his 225 passive off. So I see Rat King and Muckman working well together in this week. Joe Eyeball gain 30 alertness and 60 armor if not stunned or silenced. When attacking, also target the highest health enemy at range 3. Deal physical damage and inflict more damage over time, 4 seconds. After being attacked, gain defense and +5 strength for 30 seconds if the attacker had under 30 strength. So a lot of stuff from his companion Joe Eyeball. That's basically everything that Joe Eyeball's doing. He's supporting Muckman while also having his own target that he's doing damage to throughout the fight. Sewer Stank, inflict negative 40 strength to all enemies within range 2. Inflict negative 40 extra strength to targets at range 1. Pretty sweet. And inflicts negative 40 extra strength and negative 20 will to targets taking damage over time. So that 225 skill is huge. If you're going to be using Muckman, I definitely think that that's going to be worth it, especially because he does the damage over time. Probably going to want to add some other damage over time heroes in here to really maximize Muckman's potential. But that 225 skill is definitely something to be looking at. And his Trash Smash. Target an enemy at range 1, deal physical damage, inflict stun for 2 seconds. Target all other enemies at range 1 of the target, deal physical damage, inflict damage over 4 seconds to each target hit. Nice, does decent damage, and inflicts a stun. We love stun. And at 250, he does extra damage and inflicts stun for an extra second to targets under 20 strength. And since he's stripping strength with his passive, that's probably going to happen all the time. So Muckman is a toon that it looks like the 250 skill is worth taking him up there. Of course, if that ooze investment is too much, I definitely look into getting him to 225 for this week's mutation. Finally, his Garbage Can. His equipment skill, he gains 30 armor. Nice. All enemies taking damage over time get negative 30 armor and strength. Also nice. Nothing wrong with that. Very, very basic. Fits his kit. Muckman is definitely the strongest of the 3 heroes for this week's Power Mutation. Let me know what you think about these characters in the comments down below. Don't forget to ninja kick that like button and subscribe for more TMNT Mutant Madness content. Thank you all for watching, sticking with me. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Let's game smarter, and we'll see you in the next video.